What's up, guys? George back again to do another video. This one is the recap video for the WWE's No Mercy on September 24th, 2017. Going into this pay-per-view, it really had a bigger feel than your normal pay-per-views, your normal in-between pay-per-views. I thought this was going to be a pretty decent pay-per-view. Turns out it wasn't so great, I don't think. It was just it was like watching basically another episode of Monday Night Raw. But anyway, the pre-show kicked off with Elias defeating Apollo Crews via a pinfall. I dig Elias a lot, Elias Sampson a lot. I also dig Apollo Crews a lot. Elias Sampson really reminds me of Randy Savage for some reason. I think he resembles him in the face. It's weird watching him wrestle. It really looks like Savage. Let me know what you think below if I'm nuts or if you feel the same way that he does resemble Savage. It was a decent match, nothing great, average match. Another Monday Night Raw match, really. After that, the No Mercy pay-per-view kicked off with The Miz defeating Jason Jordan, which I figured would happen. I got about 50% of my picks right for the night. I think somewhere around there. I'll have to go through it again. But the Miz Jason Jordan match was decent. It ended exactly how I thought it was going to end, with interference from the outside with Miz Taraj. And I think it was Bo Dallas cheap shotting, or was it Curtis Axel? One of those two cheap shotting. Jason Jordan, Miz gets the pin. Pretty much how I thought it was going to end. Decent match. I would give it like if I was grading these matches, I would give it like a B minus. Nothing real incredible in that match. Next up was Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. Finished exactly how I thought it was. They're burying Bray. I really thought during the match that Bray was going to come out on top, but I don't know. It was kind of, Balor came out, did his thing, his entrance, and then Bray kind of attacked him while they were waiting for Bray. Or during his entrance, Bray came out of nowhere and attacked Finn Balor. Supposedly hurt his ribs or some shit, and I don't know. There was a moment in the match that I thought Bray was going to pull it off. He had this look. It's like his whole character had changed into this even darker, deep, like evil thing in his face. He looked like he was going to just annihilate Finn. I thought, well, maybe they'll surprise everybody and give Bray Wyatt the win. However, that didn't happen. I will say that Finn Balor, he has a move called the coup de grace. He jumps off the top rope. He went super high last night. He was up there. I couldn't believe how high up in the air he was. For his, I guess his, his whatever they call it, his final move. But wide job to him again. It was weird. Good match though, decent match. I'd give it a B. The coup de grace is finishing move. That's what I was trying to come up with. It's early in the morning yet. Decent match. Tag team champions Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Probably the best match of the night. I thought Cesaro lost 2 or 3 teeth in the front of his mouth early on in the match. I think it was a slingshot into a turnbuckle, I think it was. He went face first into that turnbuckle, turned around, had no teeth in his mouth. He lost all these teeth, bleeding like crazy. But he finished the match like a champ. He was awesome. Didn't seem to faze him after the initial hit. He actually played it off one part. I guess the Titantron was on him when it happened, because he turned around and pulled his lip down and you could see it was all gone. Pretty impressive that he came out of that, that he kept going. He had to be hurting, but really good match. Ended the way I didn't think it would. I really thought Sheamus and Cesaro were going to win that match and win the belts. However, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins held on to the belts again. I'm not sure where they're going with that one, with that storyline. Rumor has it tonight on Raw that Roman is going to show up during a segment with The Miz and possibly have a Shield reunion tonight. We'll see. They always throw that shit out there and it never happens, but I think at this point that might be plausible. Could happen. Who knows? But pretty good match. I mean, really good. That was a really good match. I would give that like an A minus. Probably the best match of the night, in my opinion, obviously. Next up, you had the Women's Championship, the Fatal 5-Way with Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, and Emma. Did not end the way I thought it was going to end. I really thought they were going to give the belt to Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss ends up holding on to the belt after pinning... I guess she pin Bayley? I can't remember who it was. I think she pinned Bayley following a DDT. She gave Bayley, yeah, it was Bayley, a DDT, pinned her. I knew they weren't going to give the belt to Bayley, but I really thought Nia Jax was going to win that match. Pretty good match. One of the better matches of the night. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it like a B+. I thought it was a decent match, especially for the women. Sometimes their matches are hit and miss. Lately, they've been really good. I still think Nia Jax gets that belt sooner rather than later. And like I said before, for as little as Alexa Bliss is, she's good. I mean, she's a good champ right now. Like I said, B+, somewhere around there. Roman Reigns, John Cena. Looks like John Cena passed the torch to Roman last night after being pinned by Roman, which I really thought, that was a toss-up to me. If you watched my last video, I picked Roman. The match was shit. I thought John Cena in it was almost like he gave away the finish or gave away the ending before, when the match started. The way he was acting and taking shots and doing the rubber leg thing, and pretty bad. It was bad. And that's one thing I always had complaints about Cena, that in the ring, I just don't like him in the ring. Of course, Reigns did the Superman punch a couple times, which I don't have a problem with, but when he cocks his arm, it's just fucking stupid. Punches the mat, just stupid. He needs to drop that for people to take this guy seriously. And the spear is cool, it's fine, but he does his little shtick before he hits the spear. He needs to drop it. He really does. It's just nobody takes him seriously. And I even think since the crowd was going nuts for Cena last night over Reigns, which I thought was pretty impressive because they're always giving, especially the dudes are always giving John Cena a bunch of shit. And it was pretty obvious that people wanted Cena to win that match. Roman Reigns got a lot of heat coming out. Still gets the win, which is fine. I know he's, they're still trying to push him as the future of the company. I just don't see it, but I like the guy. I think he's a good wrestler. I think a lot of the heat that he gets is unjust. It's not. He shouldn't be getting the heat he is. Maybe going back with the Shield will end that heat somewhat, but if I had to give it a grade, that match was a C, C minus. Wasn't a very good match. It was just okay. It was another Raw match, really. The Cruiserweight Championship match should have been at the very beginning of the show. I think that took a lot off of a lot of momentum going into the main event. Enzo Amore beats Neville for the belt, which is the dumbest thing. It was a shit match. It was a terrible match. If I had to grade it, it'd be a D, if not lower. Enzo can't wrestle, I guess. I mean, I don't know how he got this far, unless it's all shtick, unless it's all... I don't know. He's great on the mic, but he's awful in the ring. I mean, when I mean awful, he's worse than Cena in the ring. I don't know if they're playing that off that right now as... When he was in NXT, I thought he was decent. I don't know what's going on with that. Unless they're making him wrestle poorly. I don't know if that's a thing. But I would give that match a D. Neville would kill this guy at any given day. Enzo had to cheat to win, kicking him in the balls and when the ref wasn't looking and pinning him. I'm sure Enzo's going to lose that belt pretty quick. I would think. I don't know. They have this whole angle where Enzo Amore cheats to get a victory, so they might stay on that for a while. Pretty poor match, though. Universal Championship match, Brock versus Braun. I have no fucking clue what they're doing with Brock at this point. I really thought Braun was going to win this title. I guess Brock's going to sit out now until the Rumble, Survivor Series. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe Survivor Series they'll have another match, but he's going to disappear for a while again probably and hold on to the belt for another couple months and not defend it. And I just think it's it makes a joke of that belt. I like Brock Lesnar a lot. I dig Braun Strowman even more. I think Braun is your true face of the company coming up over Roman Reigns. He's just a big, powerful dude that, really can't be stopped. I mean, in all reality, nobody would fuck with this guy if you met him out on the street. That's, and I know it's all written and scripted, but sometimes you got to throw reality into these situations, into these matches, and there was none. The match was just okay. It was an average match. I would give it a C, C plus if it was... It just felt like another Raw match to me. Strowman came out and started beating his ass early and then kind of dwindled after that. It's a shame. I really don't know what they're doing with this belt, with this championship. It's taken a lot of pop off of the belt, if you know what I'm saying. If you're a wrestling fan, you know what I'm saying. It's just not... I don't know. The regular heavyweight championship belt should be on Raw, not SmackDown. And this belt should be on SmackDown if they're going to keep doing this with it. Just letting Lesnar sit on it for months before he wrestles again. We'll see what happens, what they follow up with on Raw tonight. I don't expect him to even be at the show tonight, but I could be wrong. But overall, average, if I had to give it a rating overall, I would say just to see an average pay-per-view. There was a lot of, I don't know, man. There was a lot of build going into this pay-per-view. It felt like a bigger pay-per-view, like I said, than your average in-between major pay-per-views event. It had that feeling of, it could have been an amazing pay-per-view. Some of the wrestling was bad. The greatest match of the night was Cesaro and Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. That was the best match of the night, I thought. And then the women's championship match was good as well. Everything else was just stale. I think the worst match of the night had to be Roman and Cena and that stupid cruiserweight match. Because like Braun Strowman in the cruiserweight division, Neville's definitely one of those guys that would just kick the shit out of anybody, I think. I don't get it. There's no reality in that match at all. But anyway, let me know what you think below. It was just an average pay-per-view. Kind of disappointed with it. I thought it was going to be way better than it was. It should have been way better than it was. No real change of hands championship-wise except for the cruiserweight belt, which they've been doing a lot on pay-per-views lately, holding guys, keeping the belts on certain people, but what are you going to do? That's why we watch, I guess. So anyway, be curious to see what happens on Raw tonight. The next pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell. I'll be doing a predictions video for that the Thursday or Friday before the event, and obviously do a recap video afterwards, so look out for that in a couple weeks. Other than that, I'll be doing my normal Blu-ray horror movie reviews and CD reviews and new LP update coming soon and all that happy horse shit. So definitely follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Click that thumbs up button for me if you haven't, and subscribe if you haven't. I want to thank all my new subscribers again this week. I appreciate it. And all my current subscribers and older subscribers, thanks for sticking in there. Hopefully you're liking more content on my channel right now. Like I said, I want to try to do things a little different than I was doing before. So definitely check it out, the videos. I'll talk to you all real soon. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next time. Peace.